Honestly, those people drilling are doing my head in. If they could just stop so I can finish this video, that'd be great. What is up, everyone? Fish Shop Matt here. So, what was I doing? I don't know. So it's way too early. I get here early to film these videos and then my brain just melts. What am I doing? Oh yeah, so I plan to do a few setup videos. I want more tanks in my house, so I'm going to be setting up more tanks at home. And I think I'm going to do them sort of specific, so maybe like a better tank and things like that. But before doing that, I want to make sure that any beginners coming to my channel, any newbies that are sort of looking for information, I want to make sure that they know sort of what my minimum kit is. So what I've done, I've written a list. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Written a list on my phone of, well, it's a comprehensive list of every single item that you could need to start up an aquarium. There are a couple of items on there that you don't necessarily need straight away, but at least you get the idea and you sort of, yeah, get to know exactly what you need. So I'm going to take the trolley, take the camera, go around the shop, fill up this trolley full of stuff that is the perfect startup for an aquarium. So let's go. Right, so I've actually printed it off to make life easier. So we've got our list. Now, first thing on the list is aquarium. So that's that way. If you see the systems being a little bit green this morning, that is because we had a massive fish delivery last night. So yeah, lots of stuff has been treated just to make sure no one has any problems. We like to treat sort of when the fish arrive so that they're acclimatized into the treatment, and yeah, it just means that we don't have to wait for a problem to happen. We're already treating the problem. So that's why the systems are a little bit green and a little bit blue this morning. So let's go get an aquarium. There's loads of different starter aquariums. I really like these scapers at the moment. I know that MD Fish Tanks is a big fan of them as well. So I'm going to start with one of these. There are loads and loads of starter aquariums. It just depends which ones you like. You know, you might want a cube, you might want one with a lid. Just totally depends what you like. So this is one we're going to go for today. This list hopefully will sort of cross over to all other tanks anyway, because it's all the same gear that you need. Now, this one comes with a light and a filter, but we'll talk about that in a second when we look at the equipment side of things. So let's get one of them loaded on the trolley. Now, the next thing you might need is a cabinet. Again, this is not a necessary item because you might be putting it on a cabinet at home. You might already have, I don't know, a TV stand or a sideboard that you might want to put it on. So you might not need a cabinet. Just be careful because some aquarium companies will only only cover their tank on warranty if it's sat on a purpose-built cabinet. So just be careful. But most of the smaller aquariums will sit on anything that's solid. Just make sure that a surface is clean, flat, and level. Once you've done that, you're absolutely fine. So you might want to, like behind me here, you might want to get a little cabinet for it to sit on, like a proper little aquarium cabinet, but it's not a necessary item. Today, I'm not going to bother because, to be honest, the cabinets are out in the cold storeroom and I ain't going out there. So we're not going to bother putting a cabinet on, but at least you know, if you need a cabinet, have a look for a cabinet. Right, so let's check our list. We've got aquarium, we've talked about cabinets, filter, lighting, heater. Now they are the three main things that we need to keep a tank running. So they're over that side of the shop, so let's go again. I come to the wrong aisle. I need to go around this corner and round this corner because we sold out of that one. That's annoying. Oh well, right. These are our Awazi filters. So it's just to quickly talk you through. There's a few different designs of filter on the market. Obviously this aquarium here comes with a hang on the back filter. So when you're buying your kit, you might not need to worry, but at least I can talk you through it. If it's just a glass box, we can go through it. So starting off, I suppose, let's start off with the internals. Now we are missing one here. So this is an internal filter. This just sticks inside the aquarium. Loads of different designs on the market. This one's the Awazi one with a built-in heater. But there are loads of different designs. You know, Fluve will do them, and who else does them? Everyone, Interpet, and yeah, everyone. Everyone's got an internal filter on the market. Generally, they're fairly simple. They suction cup in the back, pumps in the top, they pump the water around the aquarium, and they filter it through the foams, sponges, carbons, whatever's in there. So you might want to go for an internal filter if you've got a small tank, just to stick it inside. The next option would be like a hang on the back filter. So again, the reason I've come to Oazi's section is that they've got them all here. Now this is the bio style, so this is a hang on the back filter, very similar to what comes in here. You can sort of see it just there. Now this one will sit on the back like a little, well, pot, and it will have the filter media in here. You'll have this little inlet in the tank, and the water will get sucked up into the filter and then returned normally via a waterfall back into the aquarium. Very simple, very easy. Obviously, they're good. Whoa, that was close. They're really good for people who have got small aquariums but don't want the filter stuck on the inside of the aquarium. So you can sort of hang it off the back and make life a little bit neater, I suppose, in a way. And then the last one, which irritatingly, someone's taken this one off and put it upside down, but hey-ho. The last one is the Biomasters, which is an external filter. Now again, everyone on the market pretty much does an external filter. These will sit below your aquarium. Actually, I can show you on this tank here. Let me show you. So these are normally designed for sort of slightly bigger aquariums. You can get them on smaller. So what happens is that sits in there, filters up to the aquarium, and then back down to the filter. So yeah, very simple, very easy, and they're probably one of the most efficient filtration on the market, because they're just that much bigger. Like I say, they do some small ones. The Biomaster range goes down to 250, and then they do these like little dinky ones that are external that go down to like 60. I've actually got one of these at home that I'm going to try and mess around with at a later date. But yeah, they're really good little filters. So yeah, they'll stick behind or below your aquarium and filter like that. So that's your filtration. Your internal, your hang on the back, and your external. They're probably the three most popular sort of aquarium filtration methods. The only other one that would probably be worth mentioning is actually around this side, which is here, which is an air-driven filter. Now, these aren't sort of specifically designed for messy tanks and things like that, big tanks with lots of fish, but these are just a block of foam that an air pump attaches to. The air comes up through, sucks water through the foam, and cleans the tank. Really, really good for shrimp tanks and sort of nano fish tanks. But yeah, they don't have a great deal of, obviously, biomedia and things like that. So yeah, probably not one for beginners, but you get the idea. So we've got our tank. Obviously, our filtration is done, but I've talked you through that. Next is a heater. So heaters on the market are all fairly similar. Everyone has a little sort of difference in them, I suppose you would say. Some of them have a digital readout, some of them have a flashing light. Obviously, these are these new Fluval T range ones that I quite like. I've done a little review on them the other day. Yeah, I just really like them, so they're really smart. Now, as a rule of thumb, it's roughly 1 watt per litre of water. So, yeah, if you've got a 50-litre aquarium, you would need a 50-watt heater. Just be careful, because some of the cheaper ones on the market aren't necessarily that. Some of the cheaper ones aren't as efficient at heating, so read the box. But as a rule of thumb, it is 1 watt per litre. So on this aquarium, I'm going to need, what is it? It's a 45 litre, isn't it? Yeah, 45 litre. So in theory, the nice new little T50 heater with the indicator light, that'll do this perfectly. So that's my heater for this. Now, the only other bit of equipment that you sort of need for this is lighting. Again, this one comes with it, but there are different lighting options. Get out the way, trolley. Who parked that there? There are different lighting options on the market. Obviously, you've got things like the aquascapers that just literally sit over the aquarium. You've got things like, we do the Interpat EcoMax lighting, which is just a simple sort of stick into the hood. It's splash proof and everything. So yeah, really, really decent little lighting there. But yeah, you have to sort of gear the lighting for your aquarium. Most of the time, most aquariums come with lighting, so you're not going to need to worry too much. But if you're growing plants, you might be looking at a plant light. If you're just keeping fish and like low-tech plants, you could have a look at the aquascapers. Like I say, it's just going to be a personal preference thing on it. But make sure your aquarium's got lighting, because otherwise you can't see the fish. I think I've done this list a bit back to front then. So I went lighting, And then heater. Oh, I went wrong way around. Look. Oh, a thermometer. Let's revisit the heaters quickly, because that is a good point. Oh, this trolley is not very straight. Right. So we've picked out our heater. Actually, just underneath, we've got all our thermometers. Now, these heaters obviously do have temperature readouts, or those have temperature readouts. These ones, you set the temperature on the top. And in theory, it should heat to the temperature you're setting it to. But as a fail-safe, it's always worth having a thermometer just as a backup. Now, this is obviously a very simple standard thermometer. You can see the green band in the middle there. That's where you're aiming for, and that's where you want your heating to sit. Other ones do exist. Obviously, you've got the stick on the front ones. You've got digital ones. Obviously, it does depend on the species that you're keeping as to what sort of temperature you want and what you want to keep it at. But it's always worth having one of these just to give you a bit of backup to make sure your heater isn't essentially, well, not working. For this one, we're just going to go for the simple glass, suction cup, green indicator in the middle, simple thermometer. We'll get that one in the basket, and that's our thermometer. I'm not going to chuck that one in the basket because that's glass. So, next on the list, heater, thermometer, air pumps. Right, okay. Next one. Air pumps are probably the first on the list that's not really necessary. I suppose cabinet wasn't, but air pumps are the first electrical item that's not really necessary. If you like the look of them, then yes, certainly put them in. They do help with surface agitation, so when you get an air pump, something like, these guys, or the Oazi ones, these are probably my favourite at the moment, just because they've got a controller on the front, they've got a little rubber hook on the top, or loop, sorry, on the top there that you can hang it from inside the aquarium cabinet so it doesn't vibrate on anything. Comes with your airline, comes with your air stone. Yeah, nice little heaters. Nice little air pumps, those ones. But they'll just throw up a plume of bubbles into the back of the aquarium that will then sort of help oxygenate and help agitate the surface. So they do help. They're not a necessary item. I wouldn't bother with one on the scaper tank because it's open top. It's really designed for planting, and you don't really need an air pump in a planted aquarium. But if you want to, you can. The only thing that I would say, if you want an air pump, make sure you pick up a pack of these. These are non-return valves. Now what this does is you put them in line on your airline, like this. And what happens is if you ever get a power cut or you ever turn off the pump, water can sometimes siphon back up over the top, down into your air pump. Now, if that happens, one, it breaks your air pump because it gets full of water. Two, depending on where your air stone is sat in the aquarium, it can drain the good majority of your tank. So yeah, these guys just go in and they stop the water from siphoning back down that tube. So yeah, well worth getting non-return valves for your air pump if you are wanting an air pump. Like I say, you get loads of different air stone shapes and sizes. You can just chuck them on and you'll get a nice plume of bubbles in the back of the aquarium. So yeah, that's an air pump. Next thing on the list. Zoom. Sound effects are free today. Tap water conditioner and bio boost. Let's go. Probably a good bit to put in this video is what is tap safe or dechlorinator or tap water conditioner. What is it? Now, all it is essentially is it takes all the things that we put in it to make safe for us, takes it out to help the fish. So things like chlorines, chloramines, some heavy metals. It takes all of that sort of stuff out. So it gets rid of it out of the water. That way it just makes it safe for all your bacteria to start thriving in the aquarium. That will help break down the waste. And it helps with the slime coat on the fish and just stopping them from feeling stressed, really. So yeah, that's all a dechlorinator does. As for a bio boost or bacteria starter or quick start, whatever you want to call it, that's essentially good bacteria for your aquarium. There's varying brands and varying qualities, I suppose you would say. Well, that's the same on dechlorinator. Some of them are stronger than others, but there are varying ones and some people prefer to use different ones to others. All it's going to do is it's going to get that bacteria or the starting of that bacteria into your tank, and then when the fish start going in there, there's going to be a base level of bacteria ready to break down waste in your aquarium. We're going to go with API Stress Coat. So Stress Coat makes your tap water safe. They do a dechlorinator as well. I can never remember the name of it, and I'm actually out of stock of it at the moment anyway. But yeah, this is going to be our dechlorinator for this one. For bacterial booster, we're going to go for Quick Start. Sorry if you hear any noise in the background. The builders have just started. They're on the other side of that wall, building a new building for one of our friendly pet shops that's moving in next door to us. So yeah, if you hear any drilling or anything, that's that. But yeah, quick start. So this is going to be your good bacteria that gets all the good bacteria going in your aquarium, and it's going to be breaking down all that fish waste. So those 2 bottles, pretty much all you need. Anything else will be essentially a problem solver. Yeah, we've picked out our 2, dechlorinator, bacterial booster. What is next on the list? Test kits. Cool, let's go backwards. Zoom. Now, I know that currently I'm out of stock of the big test kit, so I'll put a little picture up on screen here. This is the big test kit. Now, test kits are great for helping your aquarium. What they're going to do is protect your fish. No point in spending hundreds of pounds on fish and everything like that, getting your aquarium looking nice, and not spending, you know, 30, 40 pounds on a test kit to protect your fish. As a rule, most big test kits come with everything you need. They come with your ammonia, your nitrite, your nitrate. Phosphate's not necessarily one you need to worry about because it doesn't come up as often, but sometimes phosphate's worth looking at. pH and hardness. Those are generally the ones that will come in your big test kits, whether you're getting them from NT Labs or API or whoever. They'll be coming as a sort of standardized kit. Now, these liquid test kits are very simple. I don't know if you can see. So on this one here, you can see you just put 5 drops of 1, 5 drops of 2, 5 drops of 3, shake it, give it 10 minutes, and then read. They're all very similar to that. You can see the one on the side there. And that is how the liquid tests work. So it's well worth getting a test kit, because if you get home at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock after work or after school, and you find that your tank isn't right, something's wrong, the fish are gasping, having a 30, 40 pound test kit could save all of those fish. Now, if you want a quick way of reading it, you have what they call dip test or test strips. Now, these are a little plastic strip. You dip them in the water and it shows you roughly what's going on in your aquarium. They're not the most accurate way of doing it. There is certainly more accurate ways. Liquid tests are much more accurate than the dip tests. But if you are in a pinch for time, you want to be doing something quickly, then yeah, you can find that the dip tests will be just a quick option for you to read that aquarium. But personally, stick to the liquids. Liquid tests are ideal. Like I say, this is the NT Labs one that's up on the screen now, hopefully, if I've done my editing right. That one is the one I normally use at home. Irritatingly, we've sold out of it at the moment, and we've got more arriving, I think, tomorrow. But yeah, that would be the one I would use. It covers all your bases then, and yeah, you can't go wrong. So let's put one of these in the thing for the minute, just to show that we're getting a test kit. So we've got the mini test kit there. So that's sort of got the pH, ammonia, and nitrite. Now, just had a water droplet land on my thing. Thanks, Ruth. She's here. Oh dear, that was awful. Test kit's done. Background. Okay, cool. So, backgrounds are over there. Let's go. Backgrounds are just as they say. What it is normally a piece of film that sticks to the back of the aquarium and gives you essentially a poster for the back of your aquarium. Most of the time, I use the black and blue. So this one's a black with the blue on the inside there. Normally I use that one, to be honest, because that is my favourite. But you can get loads of different posters, loads of different sort of rocky scapes and planted scapes. Totally depends what you like the look of, really. Like I say, I prefer the black and blue, so I'm going to grab that one. I know that one's just about the right size, so that'll be perfect for my tank. That's our background done. You might want to leave the background off, to be fair. You might just want to be able to see your wallpaper through the wall or whatever. It's totally up to you. It's not a necessary item, but it just finishes off the aquarium sometimes. Now, I'm going to do this one back to front because I've written it the wrong way round, really. I'm going to do planting and plant substrates first, and then I'm going to go to sand and gravel. So that's over there. That's over there. Now, the reason I wanted to start with planting substrate first is because normally this goes under your sand or gravel. So that's why I wanted to start with this, because it just makes sense. So planting substrate is essentially a compost or a soil for your aquarium. Now this will help all of your live plants grow really, really well. Now you don't have to run live plants if you don't want to. Plastic? Oh, very posh. Plastic plants are available too. Just depends what style you're going for. Obviously you've seen my style. You've seen the style I do with MD fish tanks with all the plants. So generally, I always use planting substrate in my aquariums. Live plants do make your aquarium easier to maintain. They're going to help with the fish waste in there. They're going to help with oxygenating the water a little bit. So yeah, I personally believe that planted aquariums, you don't have to go mad, but I believe that planted aquariums are the best way forward. So we're going to pick up a bag. I can't remember what size is ideal. I think this one looks good. Put that one there. So that's our substrate. That's going to go underneath our gravel layer and keep our plants' roots nice and healthy. So what I'm going to get for my substrate is I'm going to get some of these little net bags. Now you can pick these up from the supermarket. You can pick them up on, you know, Amazon as what do you call them? Like washing bags. But they're just essentially a net bag. You can sort of see through it there. And what we'll do is we'll put the substrate in those, hide that under the gravel. And that way, it's not going to become a problem when you try and gravel clean or when you disturb the sand. Your substrate won't come up and above the sand layer. So that's our substrate and our bag system to put it in. Then, plant fertilizer. Now again, plant fertilizer isn't a necessary thing. Not everyone uses it, but again, if you do it, it is going to be better. For this, we're just going to go for a simple plant fertilizer. Because I've bought the Scaper aquarium, it actually does come in there. But for the purpose of the video, we are going to pick one up. So, Flora Grow is a plant fertilizer. Again, sort of every company, or not every, but most companies do a plant fertilizer. That's going to be essential minerals, elements that's going to go into your water and help your plants grow and flourish. So, we're going to go for one of them. The other one that most people will use is a liquid CO2. That's probably a later on thing if you're just beginning, because yeah, it's a little bit more work, I suppose. It's a daily dosing thing, but definitely the plant fertilizer is a good starting point. Now, next on the list, I'll put my plant fertilizer on top of my list. Look. We've done plant substrate, we've done plant food. We've got to go back to sand and gravel to go on top of our substrate. So let's go over there. So there we go. Plant foods are done, plant substrate is done. Now it's something to cap it off on the top so we get a nice looking layer on the surface. Now, most of the time, it's just dependent on... Oh, someone's left that in a mess, haven't they? Look. That's better. So yeah, it does just depend on which colour, which variety you like. I'm a big fan of sand, because sand, as long as it's not too fine, you find that a lot of the food and a lot of the fish waste sits on top of the sand, doesn't get into the gravel. So when you look at a gravel grain like this sort of size, you can find that the food falls in amongst it, gets in amongst the grains of the gravel, and then you end up having to clean it more, or the fish can't eat their food because it's worked its way in the gravel. Whereas a sand layer, the food sits on top, and so does the fish waste. So in theory, the fish are going to eat it, or your filter's going to be able to catch that fish waste easily. So yeah, we're going to pick out a bag of sand. I personally like this one here at the moment. It's sort of like a speckled sand. That should be enough for that aquarium. Done. Now, there isn't really an easy sort of method of working out how much sand you want in the aquarium. Most of the time, I look at it and I'll lie the bag flat near the aquarium, and I'll go, yeah, do you know what? If that's half that thickness all the way across, that'll be perfect. So I was just going to show you on this tank over here, actually. I'll leave my trolley there. So you can see the substrate layer in here. Now this goes down behind here. You can see where it's banked up really high here. So I like it's a rope fish. Da-da-da. So cool. But yeah, you can see how it's banked up there. That's more than enough substrate. And you can see on our Tanganyikan tank how much they've sort of designed the amount of substrate or the areas that the substrate sits in that tank. So yeah, about, like I say, an inch all over should be fine, but you might want to bank it up at the back. You might want to go for sort of a mound in the middle. Totally depends what you like the look of. Now, next on the list is decor and ornaments. So we do obviously a lot of decoration in the aquarium store. Lots of different bits and pieces. We've got diggers, we've got mushroom houses, we've got castles. Totally depends on your personal preference. This isn't my cup of tea. I like a bit more of a natural thing. So we're going to head over to the scaping area with all our rocks and gravels and wood. Right, so over here we're going to pick up a few bits of wood. Like I say, you could spend hours searching around for nice bits of wood and things. But like I say, that, if you look at the aquarium size, that'll be ideal to sit in there. So we're going to have a bit of wood, and then we're going to have a few rocks. So let's go for some nice Siriu stone, or landscape stone, or whatever anyone wants to call it nowadays. There's so many different names that get batted around for it. So let's go for a few bits of that. 1, 2, and then I reckon 2 more. Let's go. There's 2. Done. Ideal. So that's enough rock. Wood, rock. That's my decoration sorted for the aquarium. What's next on the list? Decor, ornaments. It's the cleaning gear. So it's algae pads, gravel cleaners, nets and buckets. Cleaning gear. Now, on this little aquarium, we're going to need a little gravel cleaner. So something like this. You can go and watch my gravel cleaning video if you want. That will I'll show you how I clean my gravel, but that one's just going to give you the option to be able to get the tube into the aquarium, suck out any uneaten fish food, any sort of fish waste, dead bits of plant, things like that. So little gravel cleaner to keep the gravel clean. We're then going to look at an algae magnet, which is probably one of my favourite bits of kit. These are just a simple magnet. One goes on one side of the aquarium, one goes on the other, and it's got an abrasive side and a soft side. The soft side's normally on the outside glass, and then what you do is you clean your aquarium without getting your hands wet. So a magnet cleaner is a nice little tool. I don't know if I've got any set up on aquariums. Let me have a look a second. So I've just come around to the African tank, and I do look. This is a bit of a funny one because this is actually 2 different brands of magnets stuck together. So obviously we use a lot of different magnets in the shop. So all you do, there we go. Let's get the logo the right way up because that'll annoy me if that logo's the wrong way up. So all you do, like I say, you've got the first bit on the inside, which is the cleaning bit. You've got the other bit on the outside, and then you just go over the glass, like so. So then you don't have to get your sort of hands dirty. They're just a nice little thing. So yeah, we'll put that back up in that corner. Logo the right way up now. But you can see how easy that is to clean. So we're going to have one of them in this kit as well. So we're just going to get one of them. Done. A slightly cheaper option to clean the glass is obviously a pad that you can get. They clean the aquarium glass, but you have to get your hands wet for that one. And also they do cleaning pads on a rod so that you don't have to get your hands as wet. So it totally depends on how you want to clean your aquarium, but any which way will work. Just depends on which one you prefer. Make sure as well, the reason we've got a white one and a blue one, if you've got an acrylic tank, the blue one will scratch it. So just make sure you pick out the right pad for your aquarium. Now the last 2 things we're going to need is a net. She needs to help us with the aquarium. Second name joke in this video, good work. But we're going to need a net because that will help us catch any uneaten food. If, unfortunately, you lose a fish, it's much easier to get it out with a net than your hands. And yeah, any loose leaf litter that's sort of dropped in from the dying plants, anything like that. So nets are really good to have as a little backup. Irritatingly, they're over there. And we're also going to need a bucket, which I know is also over behind this shelving unit. So let's go and grab those. And that should be everything we need to set up the aquarium. So, let's get an appropriately sized net. We don't need something massive for a small aquarium, but you do, little ones as well. So we're going to grab that one. And the last bucket that we've got. So then we've got everything to keep our aquarium clean, hopefully. So that's it. That's everything. Right then. So, everything that you need to set up a tank like this is now on this trolley. You've got everything from your dechlorinators to make it safe, your heater, your test kits, your ornaments or your rocks, your bogwood, everything that you need to set it up, including your tank and your substrate, is all on this trolley now. That is everything. You couldn't wish for anything more on an aquarium. There will probably be some people in the comments that will tell me some things I've missed, so drop them in the comments and I'll tag them or I'll pin them to the top just to make sure that I haven't missed anything good. But I think that's everything. I think that's everything you're going to need. Honestly, those people drilling are doing my head in. If they could just stop so I can finish this video, that'd be great. Right, I'm going to get in before the drills start again. So, that is everything that you need for an aquarium. As I was saying, I think I've done it, but the chlorinators, test kits, everything. The drilling is still stopped. Obviously, I'm going to go put all this back on the shelf now because I've got so many aquariums at home. I don't need to buy all of this, but you get the idea. I don't know what's next. Fish files, who knows? But I'll see you in the next one.